keep feeding it again.
Okay. What are some of the difficulties involved in operating the machine?
Well, if you overfeed it too fast, it will lock down on top of you. So you got to know the time when to feed it and how to feed the machine.
Okay, great. The kind staff at ABREC was happy to give a live demonstration of how the granulator transforms plastic bottles into plastic chippings for shipping to overseas buyers.
This is the end product. So you have bits and pieces of the different bottles that went through the granulator. Now these bags are packed and they weigh on an average of between 12 to 1,500 pounds. Now for a 40-foot container, we have to fill 40 of these to ship out in a 40-foot container, right? So there's a lot of weight we're talking about there.
Another important piece of machinery is the briquetter. This machine, under the skillful operation of senior sorter Mr. Nathan, can convert 400 regular juice cans into a 15-pound block in under 5 minutes.
This here is called the briquette machine, well known as a compressor that bring things together. And I was showing 500 cans inside to make one blocks. Over one blocks would weigh like 15 pounds, 15 to 13 pounds. And I would show you the demonstration how the can fall with the briquette machine.
All those times cutting into that small thing.
Amazing, right?
Yeah. Tell us, what are some of the hazards involved in operating these machines?
Well, first you have to really know about the machinery, then the mechanics of it and stuff like that. One of the things is most of them they use current, and that could be also something that you need to know about electricity, you need to know about hydraulics, you need to know about compression. Normally we do not let people within 10 to 15 feet near the machines once they're in operation, because we conduct tours for schools, for camps and so on, for civil society, even businesses. They will come, they want to see how the machine go on, what's operation like here. So we let them stand a distance while we have the machines on. Our staff here, they are educated us to the safety features and so on, what they need to know about the machines, the do's and don'ts, and these are the things that we have to make sure that we educate them. They're trained to operate the machines.
ABREC also has a number of skips used for collecting cans. However, these bins are sometimes confused with the garbage collection bins used by the National Solid Waste Management Authority.
The bins that are used by National Solid Waste for regular garbage, they're green. They're green with a solid waste logo on it. And our bins are black, and our bins are clearly labeled. And they, unlike solid waste bins, they have 2 holes that are put there so that persons wouldn't need to lift or raise the lid, but just drop the bottles or the cans in here. Also, we need the public to know there's a difference between cans and tins. Aluminum cans are the soft ones that are easy to crush in your hands. Tins are like what you get, like milk. Right, those are, they cannot crush, and they're harder material because they contain steel. Okay, persons oftentimes mix up the two and they send, once is a can, some people call can tin and tin can, but there is a difference because the cans are what you get like your sodas, your fruiter and so on, and your beer now coming in cans, whereas the tins, you have like food stuff coming in them, milk and so on. So we asking the public to cooperate with us to put the right material in the recyclable bins and not in the wrong bins. Do not contaminate them with food or other material that are not supposed to be in here.
The recycling plant also functions as a collections agency for old vehicular batteries, which pose a serious hazard when they are inappropriately discarded.
We also collect batteries and we ship them off to Trinidad. Eventually they end up in Venezuela. One of the things that we want to encourage persons in the public to do is to not discard their batteries any old place or any deserted location, but to bring the recycling plant so we can get them off of Antigua. These batteries, even though they're no longer in use for vehicles, they contain lead or acid, as we call it, which is very detrimental to our environment, because once you see this seeped into our ground, it gets into our groundwater, and it could contaminate the groundwater, and some of this can end up in our drinking water, the water we use, and you know it could cause sicknesses like cancers and tumors and all kind of different things, subsequently also death.
Besides recycling bottles and cans, ABREC has undertaken another project. Plans are currently on the way to produce a documentary film on their recycling program.
The UNDP representative, he said, it would have been good if we could have done a documentary on the work that we've been doing here, lessons learned and things like that. So I wrote a proposal, submitted to UNDP, Jeff, and it was approved, so we got funding for it. I'm now in the process of writing the script along with Ms. Joan Hillhouse and the production company, Sync Production. So we are hoping to produce that documentary by the end of October.
For more information on ABREC, visit their offices at Powell's Industrial Estate in Coolidge or telephone them at 562-6038 or send the email to abrec@hotmail.com.